Hey guys, Boston Ramos, and this Sunday the Miami Dolphins improved to 4-1 after defeating the New York Giants 31-16 in a game that was much needed for Miami Dolphins. They were able to beat a football team coming out of the state of New York. Uh, New York, they actually play in Jersey, but they played in Miami this week. Giants fall to 1-4, 1-2 on the road. Miami Dolphins are 2-0 at home, and claim the lead in the AFC East right now. 4-1. The Jets improved to 2-3, which spices things up a little bit. But the Buffalo Bills dropped to 3-2. But let's get into some highlights. We have Jalen Waddle getting a receiving touchdown, first of the season for him. And guess what? Busted out the Waddle. Let's go, baby. But we have a three-way sack. In terms of stats, it doesn't count as a three-way sack, but Christian Wilkins and Emmanuel Ogba and I believe Bradley Chubb contributed for that sack. And this one as well, this is another sack for a gain of 0 yards by Jerome Baker, Eli Apple, and Zach Sealer. Tua finding Tyreek Hill, loses his helmet there. Man is a beast. That led to Devon Achane, I want to say, a 76-yard rushing touchdown by Achane. I want to see the speed on this one, though, for real. Probably going to peek into the top 5 once again for that one alone. But Tua throws a pick six here. Not a good look for him right before halftime. And I took a massive spill after this. Rolled my ankle pretty bad. Third quarter, Devon Achane fumbles it. Luckily, nothing becomes of it. The Giants were forced to punt following that. But here goes Tua finding Tyreek Hill for a big chunk yardage. Probably 40-plus yards on the play here. And, no one's going to catch him. How about Andrew Van Ginkel? Man, he's been playing lights out this season. Glad to see Xavier Howard getting in the mix once again, preventing what I want to say could have been a touchdown, but it was close. It would have set the Giants up at the 2-yard line. And then Zach Sealer bringing down Daniel Jones. A lot of sacks for the Dolphins today. We'll get into that in a bit. But a big receiving touchdown for Tyreek Hill. And no one's going to catch that guy. When you see him and probably Achane getting loose, there's no catching him. Tyreek Hill is loving it. He gets into the crowd, showing some love to the boys. And, man, it's an awesome day to be a Dolphins fan. Andrew Van Ginkel brings down Daniel Jones. And unfortunately for the Giants fans, Daniel Jones would not return to the game. He would leave the game with an injury. Currently, as I'm making the video, I'm not certain on what the injury is. But either it may be a concussion or something just to do with just getting beat down so much in the last 2 weeks. Javon Holland getting a big pass breakup against Darren Waller there. And then later in the game, Tyrod Taylor trying to extend the play gets caught short of the first down. Miami Dolphins were able to, right there, lock up a big win for the Dolphins. Guys, I hate to sound like that guy who's, not enthused by winning 31-16, but I wasn't too impressed with the Miami Dolphins. I'll talk about it in a little bit, but all in all, getting a win against a team that you should beat is always great. But aside from that, Miami Dolphins weren't too crazy in terms of how I felt this performance should have gone. But at the end of the day, limiting the Giants to no touchdowns defensively. They did have a pick six. Limiting the Giants to no touchdowns defensively was great. Miami Dolphins had 22 first downs, the Giants 15. Dolphins had 54 plays. The New York Giants had 68. What else do we got here? Turnovers. The Miami Dolphins had 3 turnovers. Penalties. Giants had 6 penalties for 43 yards. Same for the Miami Dolphins. Literally identical. 6 penalties for 43 yards. For those of you guys who say the refs rig up the game a bit. Third down efficiency. We have 5 of 17 for the New York Giants, 3 of 18 for the Miami Dolphins. Fourth down efficiency. Dolphins didn't go for it on fourth down, and the Giants went 1 of 2 on fourth down. My apologies. Yeah, Time of possession, 24 minutes for the Miami Dolphins, 35 and 59 seconds, so pretty much 36 minutes for the New York Giants. The Dolphins were really efficient with the ball, and there's no complaints about that. I think the Dolphins did very well when they had the ball, and they were scoring very fast, and that is credit to, one, their skill position players, and just two, just the efficiency of which its offense is running at, and the play calling, etc. All right, let's get into some player stats. We have Daniel Jones going 14 of 20 for 119 yards. He was sacked, though, 6 times for a loss of total 19 total yards. Tyrod Taylor, 9 for 12, 86 total yards, 1 of 3. And then Tua went 22 of 30, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, sacked once for a loss of 6 yards. New York Giants had 85 total rushing yards. Their leading ball carrier was Eric Gray, 12 carries, 25 yards. Right behind them, Daniel Jones, 4 carries, 24 yards, and Matt Breida, 9 carries, 21 total yards. The Giants did not score a single offensive touchdown, which is good to hear as a Dolphins fan. But for a Giants fan, I'm pretty sure you guys are just scratching and clawing, hoping Saquon can be back. But it's a tough point in the season, 1-4. It's it's very grim. For the Miami Dolphins, 222 total yards rushing. Devon Achane had 151 yards off of 11 carries and 1 touchdown, longest of 76, which was his touchdown. And then we had Raheem Mostert, 10 carries, 65 yards, longest of 23 and 1 touchdown. Tua had 2 carries for 6 yards. Achane is looking more and more so like the lead back each and every week. And, it's interesting to see the change of the guard from Raheem Mostert to Devon Achane. No complaints. He's doing very well. And, just sky's the limit for him. He's a rookie and he has a lot to prove. And so far, so good for Devon Achane. For receiving, Darren Waller was the Giants' leading receiver, 8 total receptions, 86 total yards. 21 was his longest. Darius Slayton, 2 receptions, 35 yards. And then Paris Campbell, 2 receptions, 23 yards. Everyone else for the Giants was under 20 yards. But the biggest receiver was Wan'Dale Robinson after that with 5 receptions, but for 18 total yards. For Miami Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, wait for it. 8 receptions, 181 yards, 1 touchdown, longest of 69 off of 9 targets. So 1 drop for Tyreek Hill. Cedric Wilson Jr. surprisingly had the second most with 4 receptions, 52 total yards, longest of 23. And then Jalen Waddle, 5 receptions, 35 yards. Everyone else had 1 reception, maybe 2 receptions, but all under 20 total yards. A couple fumbles here for the Miami Dolphins. Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert both had a fumble. Achane lost his fumble, and for the New York Giants, Eric Gray had a fumble, and Joshua Edzu recovered, and then Kayvon Thibodeau recovered Devon Achane's fumble. I believe Raheem Mostert's fumble went out of bounds. Not the best day in terms of ball security for the Miami Dolphins. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, one which was lost. But yeah, for the New York Giants defensively, Bobby Okereke was the leading tackler, 10 total tackles, 4 solo, 2 pass deflections. Isaiah Simmons right behind him, 9 total, 7 solo. Xavier McKinney, 8 total, 7 solo, and 1 pass deflection. Key stats, Jason Pinnock had a pass deflection and a touchdown from the pick 6. Deontay Banks had a pass deflection, so did Cordell Floyd. And Kayvon Thibodeau had a sack, tackle for a loss, and a QB hit. And the Leonard Williams QB hit. And I believe that is it in terms of key stats. For Miami Dolphins, Eli Apple, leading tackler for the Miami Dolphins. 9 total tackles, 8 solo, half a sack, pass deflection, and a QB hit. Dave Long Jr. right behind him, 9 total, 4 solo, tackle for a loss. Jerome Baker, 8 total, 4 solo, 1.5 sacks, and 2 QB hits. Zach Schiller, 7 total tackles, 6 solo, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, and 3 QB hits. Key stats, Kader Kohu 1 tackle for a loss, one QB hit. Bradley Chubb, same thing there. One tackle for a loss, 1 QB hit. Javion Holland, 1 pass deflection, same thing for Xavier Howard. Christian Wilkins, half a sack and 2 QB hits. Andrew Van Ginkel stuffed up the stat sheet. Not crazy with the tackles, 3 total, 3 solo, and then one sack, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 pass deflection, 1 QB hit. And then Raekwon Davis, 1 tackle for a loss. Emmanuel Ogbah, 1.5 sacks, and QB hits 2. And then last but not least, Deshaun Hand had a QB hit. Interceptions, 2 interceptions. One to Jason Pinnock, who had a interception return for 102 yards for a touchdown. And then Bobby Okereke had a return of 7 total yards. Kick returns, not much going on there. Eric Gray, 1 return for 20 yards. Braxton Barrows, 1 return for 25. No punt returns. And then kicking, Graham Gano went 3 of 4 for field goals, longest of 51, and then 1 for 1 on extra points. Jason Sanders went 1 for 1 on field goals, 4 for 4 on extra points. And then punting, Jamie Gillian went 4 of 161 total yards, 3 of which were in the 20, and longest of 49. Jake Bailey had 2 punts for a total of 69 total yards. 1 was within the 20, and then longest of 49. Jake Bailey had a shank of a punt, and it was not looking good. But luckily, Dolphins were able to prevail. Aside from that, keys to the game. Bring Daniel Jones down. Miami Dolphins were able not to one for one replicate what the Seahawks did last week, but they were able to bring Daniel Jones a lot. 6 total sacks on Daniel Jones and 1 more on Tyrod Taylor. So the Miami Dolphins, were able to follow the formula of which the Seattle Seahawks laid out there, which is getting to the quarterback and making his life an utter living hell. And not necessarily happy about it in terms of performance, but it wasn't the best. Offensively, run the ball. Miami Dolphins had 222 total yards of rushing. It was a great day on the ground for the Miami Dolphins. I can't say the same for the Canes. Don't even talk to me about it. It was very disappointing. But all in all, great game by the Dolphins. Interesting stretch coming up. Right now, the Miami Dolphins 4-1, top of the division, AFC East. At 4-1, you have the Buffalo Bills at 3-2, New York Jets at 2-3, New England Patriots at 1-4 after getting shut out by the New Orleans Saints. So interesting to see. But yeah, Dolphins improved to 4-1. They face the Carolina Panthers next week, 1:00 p.m. at home, and interesting game. Another game that the Dolphins should possibly easily win, but never get too sure of it. And then they go onto the road to face the Philadelphia Eagles following week on Sunday Night Football. So that one should be a very, very, very interesting game. With that being said, Miami Dolphins improved to 4-1, and things are looking very bright. One of the fastest teams in the NFL. Time of possession, Dolphins barely had the ball in terms of time of possession, and were able to score quick hitting touchdowns, whether it was Devon Achane or Tyreek Hill. Both of those guys put the burners on today and really put the Dolphins, separated them from the New York Giants. Aside from that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I don't want to keep you guys here too long. And last but not least, the vlog will be coming out soon. I'm going to tell you guys it wasn't the best vlog. Going into halftime, took a little fall, rolled my ankle really bad. And 1, killed the mood. And then 2, just being immobile, not being able to get up as often was not the best combo for getting a good quality vlog out there for you guys to enjoy with all the hype. Not to talk it down, but just want to be honest. Aside from that, Dolphins 5-1 and Panthers next week, so hopefully that should be interesting for the Miami Dolphins. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.